It is the 23rd day of September, a day when Kenya's heroic team returned from a great showing in Tokyo.
That's been a good one, coming home with 7 gold medals. That was really special.
It was a great surprise, and I think this is because of the hard work that I've been doing.
World-beating victors back from Tokyo. A hero's welcome for Kenya's golden athletics champions.
The conflict must end. The two-state solution is the only path to the just and lasting peace.
Palestine takes center stage. Deep divisions as the UN General Assembly gets underway in New York.
Why are they torturing me? Why have they tortured me? All that wrong, knowing very well, because I know President Abesi akasema kitu yenye haiko.
Shocked and broken. Family of missing Kenyan police officer in Haiti demands answers amid reports of his death.
Alikuwa shatoka kazi, akapigwa simu arudi, kumbe alikuwa anarudi kuku.
4 suspects in custody. Mystery deepens over the death of a domestic worker in Kilimani. Those top stories. Plus, tonight on the Explainer, Power Talk is back. And tonight we're sitting down with the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Tourism and Wildlife, Rebecca Miano. We're going to be talking or taking a look at the tourism outlook for the country at the moment and some of the ambitious plans that Kenya has, including diversifying the country's tourism traditional offerings. In what way are we looking to make sure we attract the ambitious target of over 5 million tourism visitors by 2027? The Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife was live on Power Talk here on The Explainer, which starts right now.
Live from Citizen TV, this is The Explainer with Yvonne Okwara.
That's right. Good evening. Joki Shege is our sign language interpreter. Let's start on a triumphant note. Tonight, Kenya's heroic team in the just concluded World Athletics Championships returned home today to a rousing reception after finishing second in the competition. The team bagged 11 medals. Members of Parliament led the nation in heaping praise on the athletes for flying the country's flag high in the global event. Emmanuel Tor reports.
They touched down at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Nairobi on Tuesday afternoon to a pompous reception full of song and dance. 5 gold medalists, Beatrice Chebet, Faith Kipyegon, Emmanuel Wanyonyi and Lilian Odira among the last batch of 48 Kenyan athletes who jetted back into the country from the just concluded World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Japan, after bagging 11 medals, finishing second behind the United States of America. The athletes expressing their joy over the great performance.
That's been a good one, coming home with 7 gold medals. That was really special. You will see me next in 10:10. I will be at Atlos for the only women race in New York.
Winning back-to-back after Olympic and World Champ, being again both world record holder for both events. I'm so grateful.
I went to the championship with the mind of maybe making it to the finals and, if possible, medal, but it was a great surprise, and I think this is because of the hard work that I've been doing.
The government promising to hold its end of the bargain.
They'll get their 3 million, the silver 2 million, and bronze 1 million, and we are ready to do that.
Honourable members.
The members of the National Assembly who resumed sittings in Parliament Tuesday after a month-long recess, lauding the athletes for their heroic performance.
We must be very proud of ourselves and our country. How many countries can have an opportunity to have their national anthem sung 6 times in a foreign capital within 2 weeks?
when you listened to Ewoy speaking, when you listened to Perry speaking, when you listened to Wanyonyi speaking, when you listened to Faith Kipyegon speaking, you felt proud as a Kenyan because our athletes are properly able to present themselves. Honorable Speaker,
I think the government needs to really investigate to make sure that our sportsmen and women, especially the young and the old, are not exploited by their coaches.
Lilian Odira happens to come from Migori County. And Honorable Speaker, we are celebrating as Nyinam, the daughters of the lake.
Coming through to take it, Mula. The performance of the men team also coming under sharp focus after failing to live up to the expectation.
The boy child is lost. The boy child is disappearing. What happened, Otienda Molo, to our steeplechase?
Most of them are very young people and they really need support. I happened to meet Serem Edmond, and Serem was just walking the streets of Eldoret.
Emmanuel Tor, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
All right, let's focus on the global stage for a moment. United States of America's President Donald Trump has told the UN summit that the current wave of recognition of Palestinian statehood represents a submission to Hamas and encourages conflict, blasting Western countries that have chosen to recognize a Palestinian state in recent days. Trump says Hamas has repeatedly rejected reasonable offers to make peace while holding Israeli hostages and dead bodies. President William Ruto has also recognized the Palestinian statehood, committing to support peace talks. Melita Oletengis reports.
Recognize the state of Palestine.
Multiple European countries announced recognition of a Palestinian state during a summit at the UN General Assembly on Monday. The countries who recognized Palestine include France, Belgium, Monaco, Luxembourg and Malta. Britain, Canada, Australia and Portugal have also formally recognized Palestine. But United States President Donald Trump's administration continues to back its Israeli ally, rejecting the Europeans' move.
Some of this body is seeking to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state. The rewards would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities. This would be a reward for these horrible atrocities.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres told a UN conference in New York that nothing could justify the collective punishment of Palestinians, starvation or any form of ethnic cleansing.
A one-state scenario where Palestinians are denied basic rights, expelled from their homes and their land, forced to live under perpetual occupation, discrimination and subjugation. How is this possible in the 21st century?
Britain and France's recognition of a state of Palestine at the United Nations is seen as a historic moment in the conflict, illustrating how major European powers believe the conflict has reached the point where it requires them to take such an unprecedented move. A call that is also emanating from the Middle East and beyond.
The conflict must end. The two-state solution is the only path to the just and lasting peace that fulfills the rights of all our peoples.
Portugal formally recognized the state of Palestine as a sovereign state with full rights.
The recognition of the state of Palestine is the right step on the right side of history.
Kenya has also embraced the call for a two-state solution to the crisis in the Israel-Palestine conflict, which has seen violence in the Gaza Strip since October 2023. President Ruto stated that Kenya maintains its call for peace within the region and across the globe and called for the de-escalation of violence in the Middle East. Israel is now deploying a third army division into Gaza City, with dozens of Palestinians getting killed every day. Hamas continues to hold nearly 50 hostages, among them bodies. All these nearly 2 years on from the 7th October attacks, with few signs that further military pressure will force the surrender by Hamas that Israel seeks. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
Now, the family of Benedict Kabiru, a Kenyan police officer who went missing in an ambush attack in Haiti back in March, is demanding answers following President William Ruto's announcement that Kabiru is among 3 Kenya security officers who've lost their lives while on duty in Haiti. Still in shock following the revelation at a high-level meeting on Haiti held in New York, the family, which sued government over lack of information on his whereabouts, wants the government to bring his remains back home for burial. Gatete Njoroge reports.
With bated breath, the family of Benedict Kabiru, the Kenyan police officer who went missing in Haiti in March, listened keenly to President William Ruto's presentation during a high-level meeting on Haiti in New York on Monday. Having missed the session where their kin was mentioned, they wait for the moment that breaks their hearts.
I must use this occasion to honor the Kenyan officers, Mr. Samuel Tomoi, Benedict Kabiru, and Kennedy Nzuve, who lost their lives in the lines of duty.
Jacinta Kabiru, in shock and short of words, remains quiet for a while, reflecting on what life means without her son. She breaks down as a friend consoles her. For 6 months, she has drowned in sorrow after Kabiru went missing, after his team was ambushed by gangs during patrol. Her only hope was the promise by top security officials that the search for her son was still on course.
Now, why are they torturing me? Why have they tortured me all that wrong, knowing very well, because I know President awezi akasema kitu yenye haiko. I urge them, they come out, then they bring the remains of my son. I do what is necessary because I can't believe until I see he's there. He's normal.
We trusted you with our son, Benedict. Is this how you are going to repay back? You are not giving us the information. You are not feeling the pain that we are feeling.
The delay in finding her missing son, who was the sole breadwinner for his daughter, has left her dreams shattered. She was supposed to join JKUAT this September to pursue a degree in economics, but she is yet to do so because of lack of fees. The family, which has sued the government over lack of information on Kabiru's whereabouts, has defended the decision and demands answers on when exactly he died.
Tumekuwa tukiamini kwamba iko kitu anatuficha. Hiyo ndio imani yetu. Hiyo tumekuwa tukifikiria ama tumeamini iko ukweli ambaye hawatuelezi. Sababu ya kwenda kotini na wakili wetu tumeenda kotini kwamba wasukumwe na koti waweze kutoa ukweli yote. Badala kukaa kutuambia wanamtafuta, watuambie ni jagani wanatumia kumtafuta.
With more questions after the head of state's statement, the family is hopeful that soon they will get answers and get a closure. Meanwhile, the case compelling government to furnish family with details over his disappearance is expected to be heard on Wednesday at Milimani Law Courts. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Kiambu County.
Detectives at Kilimani Police Station are probing the mysterious death of 54-year-old Zaituni Kavaya, a Kibera resident hired for laundry work on the 5th floor of an apartment along Mpunga Road in Kilimani. Police have since arrested 5 members of the family that contracted her services. They remain in custody at Kilimani Police Station as investigations continue. Ode Francis reports.
The family of Zaituni Kavaya from Kibera is in grief tonight, their mother having died under mysterious circumstances while at the home of her employer, where she had been called in for cleaning duties. It was a chilling twist for her daughter, Faith, who says she received a call from Kilimani Police Station asking her to report to the station after repeated attempts to reach her mother went unanswered. Fearing the worst, she arrived clutching her mother's tea, only to be confronted by tragedy.
Nikamwambia, hii chai itapoa, acha tupatie mam chai, afanye akikunywa chai. Ndio akanibreakia news wakaniambia, msichana, mamako amefariki. Kitu tu tunaambiwa ameanguka kutoka kwa gorofa, lakini hakuna details zingine tunaambiwa. Tulikuwa tu tukaenda city mortuary. Kufika huko nikapata ni mamangu. Amelazwa city mortuary. Mama alitoka akiwa mzima. I was expecting arudi akiwa salama.
According to court documents tabled during the suspect's detention hearing, the tragedy is believed to have stemmed from a bitter dispute over missing cash. The son of the household reportedly claimed he had lost money from a pair of trousers that had been washed by Zaituni Kavaya, a claim that would set off the chain of events leading to her mysterious death.
The son to the owner of the house did not find his money in one of his pockets, and therefore he called her back. She had left. He called her back and asked her to inquire where is the money. Did she find the money or not? And from the testimonies, to say that she denied not to have taken any money, and as a result of that, and when they insisted that they report probably to the police, she tried to escape and tried to escape by falling on the through the balcony.
However, Zaituni Kavaya's family has strongly disputed these allegations, insisting their mother was the victim of foul play.
Wakati nilienda kuchukua vitu zake kwa ofisi za DCI, nilipata kwa kibeti yake alikuwa na 160 shillings. Alikuwa na dera, slippers na rubbers. Hizo ndo vitu mamangu alikuwa nazo. Hakukuwa na kitu kingine yoyote. Alikuwa shatoka kazi, akapigwa simu arudi. Kumbe alikuwa anarudi kuko.
Postmortem results from Nairobi City Mortuary reveal that Kavaya died from multiple injuries caused by heavy blunt force.
Nataka ukweli na haki itendeke. Manake alikuwa kila kitu kwa maisha yetu. Hatuko na mtu mwingine wa kulilia.
Sababu hakuna venye watu wa nje watakuwa wanachukua watu wetu, wanawaua nje, tena wanawaua Kenya. Sasa sisi tukimbilie wapi? Shwali Kenya, na waomba hata rais mahali ulipo, najua unasikia na utaona. Justice ifanyike. Hao watu wa nje wasituulie watu wetu. Tumeisha na ninaomba tu haki ifanyike.
Now this is the location where the body of Zaitun Kavaya was discovered. Kilimani detectives are now trying to determine whether she was alive before the fall or if her body was only discovered afterwards. Ode Francis, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Now, the Rural and Urban Private Hospitals Association says it is not backing down from its decision to deny services to patients who cannot pay cash despite their SHA status. The association's chair, Dr. Brian Lishenga, says the association will restore SHA services once government clears the debts it owes that run into billions of shillings. The association stand comes as the Social Health Authority met with other stakeholders in the healthcare provision sector to find a way out of the impending crisis.
At a health facility in Juja, Kiambu County, an expectant mother with an emergency is lucky to be served. She says she came to the facility, the nearest to her home, with a lot of apprehension.
Nilikuwa nimesikia mambo na SHA. It is not working in private hospital as from yesterday. It inconvenience juu sasa kama mtu ndiye alikuwa amelipia na hana cash, hiyo ndiye alikuwa anategemea.
This is one of the private health facilities under RUFA that has heeded the association's call to stop treating non-emergency and critical cases unless the patients are willing to pay in cash. This declaration has affected patient flow at this facility and others like this.
We used to see around 70 outpatients in a day. Sometimes they would go 60, sometimes they would go 75, but yesterday was the worst. We saw around 18 patients.
RUFA says the decision to cut off credit services to SHA still stands. The association, however, says patients are still allowed to visit the facilities, but services are pegged on their ability to pay out of pocket.
No Kenyan is being turned away. This discussion between hospitals has been going on for the whole of this year.
The statement comes as the association continues to demand that the government clears the 10.6 billion shillings claims for the services rendered last month and the largest 76 billion shillings debt stretching back to the NHIF days.
And we are still very much open to communication and talks with the Ministry of Health, and I think that our demands are very reasonable. Number one, the immediate settlement of NHIF arrears.
The Social Health Authority met representatives from the Kenya Healthcare Federation and the Kenya Association of Private Hospitals. The meeting, chaired by the SHA chairman, resolved to work towards resolving systemic challenges that may plague universal health coverage under SHA, as well as finding ways to combat graft within the healthcare system. The meeting also sought to find ways of ensuring that public officers continue to get uninterrupted health services as SHA seeks finances to support this. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
Education Cabinet Secretary Migos Ogamba has directed lecturers to immediately resume duty, failure to which they will face disciplinary action. Ogamba says lecturers are in contempt of a court order requiring them to resume classes. This comes even as students across various universities remained in limbo as the lecturers' strike clocks 1 week. Laura Otieno with the details.
Along the streets of Bomet town, Victor Sigei is at work. For the last 6 days, this second-year student of Bomet University has been selling eggs in order to stay away from trouble. This after learning was disrupted following a strike by lecturers that began on 17th of this month as the Dons and the government maintain a hardline stance over the implementation of their CBA.
Wenyewe tunateseka, wenyewe tunafaa kufanya cut, but discussing on our own, although kuna part zenye tunafaa kujisomea, lazima tuhitaji usaidizi wa LEC atusaidie mahali.
I think it will really affect us highly as students who are staying outside, because we will have to pay another extra 1 month rent, of which we are not budgeted for earlier.
Our parents are at home. They know that we are in school learning while we are idle. So we pray that the government sees your requirements and pays you.
However, in Mombasa, Education CS Migos Ogamba said that the government has released 2.5 billion shillings to address the grievances raised by the Dons. So we are now working very hard. Referencing a High Court order that suspended the strike, the CS warned of disciplinary action against those who would not resume work.
We have done a lot in the sector, and we've agreed that all grievances can be discussed without us going on strike, which affects our learners.
Until then, students remain at crossroads to see who will yield between the government and the university Dons. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
The Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, has made significant progress in its investigation into the mysterious death of a man at the Central Police Station in Mombasa. The authority has begun releasing preliminary findings even as further inquiries continue. According to IPOA, a post-mortem examination revealed that the deceased, Simon Warui, died from breathing complications caused by a broken neck. Citizen TV's Ben Kirui reports.
The push for answers surrounding the mysterious death of Simon Warui at the Central Police Station in Mombasa has gained momentum, with the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, getting its investigation underway. On Tuesday, IPOA confirmed it had obtained CCTV footage capturing events before and after Warui's death. The footage is expected to play a critical role in determining the circumstances that led to his demise while in police custody.
We have also got hold of CCTV footage, which we are analyzing.
IPOA also disclosed that the authority has received the post-mortem examination report, which attributes Warui's death to cardiorespiratory collapse due to a fracture and dislocation of the neck, injuries consistent with a fall from a height.
We have sent toxicology report to the government chemist, and once the results out, our investigation will be complete. And if there is any officer found culpable from them, then people will take responsibility.
Aden noted that IPOA is currently interviewing witnesses and reviewing police procedures related to the incident. He reiterated the authorities' commitment to a thorough and impartial investigation, warning that any officer found responsible will face the full force of the law.
We are at the tail end of the investigations. We have taken the statements of those who have interest, the investigators.
Coast Regional Police Commander Ali Nuno has pledged full cooperation with IPOA. In a statement, Nuno emphasized the need for transparency and accountability, stating, and I quote, "If there was foul play, let each officer carry their cross. There are no sacred cows." He further assured IPOA of the police service's full support, resources, and access required to complete the investigation. Waroi had earlier been reported missing in Nairobi, with a formal report filed at Kamukunji police station. 3 days later, his wife says she received a phone call from a church security guard along Kuruma Road in Mombasa, informing her that Waroi had been detained at Central Police Station. He died shortly thereafter in unclear circumstances. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
5.5 million tourists in the country by the year 2027. Is that target achievable? That and much more is what we'll be talking about on Power Talk this evening. We're with the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Tourism and Wildlife, Honorable Rebecca Miano. We'll be taking a look at the country's status with tourism, some of the ambitious plans, and how do we diversify away from the traditional offerings, because Kenya indeed has a lot to offer. Power Talk with the Cabinet Secretary is right after this break. And on Power Talk tonight, Rebecca Miano, Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife, outlines the state of tourism in Kenya and the ambitious plans for the sector this year.
Mimi ni Bahati. Walinijua kama mtoto wa mama. Siku hizi wananiita mtoto wa Kafagara. Ni unga nyororo, nyeupe, inanukia na inapatikana kote nchini.
My name is Heinz Muller. I'm the CEO, Nuts and More. When you got used to a supplier who gives you a good service, usually you go back to the same supplier, and that was exactly the case here. Build phase 1 together with SAF-Build. We made good experience overall. Then we started to inquire about phase number 2. We believe we have done the right choice. We have selected a durable product from SAF-Build.
SAF-Build, a quality product from Safal Building Systems, a subsidiary of MRM.
Lipa Pole Pole. Visit viewtravel.com or call 0703 254 254. View Travel. Dream, explore, discover.
New Pepsodent Herbal, introducing a unique combination of natural ingredients with herbal extracts, salt and mint in an antibacterial formula for fresh breath, strong teeth and healthy gums that protects you and your family. Pepsodent Herbal, every smile matters.
Experience the power of the ultimate glow in our new revitalizing formula. With 3 times more oil-infused serum, Vaseline Lotions penetrates and restores your skin's natural moisture from within, while boosting your natural glow on the outside. No need to add extra oils or glycerin. Feel the difference. See the power of the ultimate glow. New Vaseline Lotions.
Introducing Shinda Milioni, where every dream can become a reality. For every 2,000 shillings deposit, you earn 1 point. The more points you collect, the higher your chances of winning big. There will be 10 winners of 50,000 shillings weekly and 1 lucky monthly winner of 1 million shillings. Get started today. Make your deposits, build up points, and watch your chances soar. Shinda Milioni is open to all new and existing I&M Bank customers. Open your account on the I&M Bank OTG app. Deposit more and win big. I&M Bank, on your side.
Mimi nasema ugali ya lea haikuwangi complicated. Ukienda kwa duka tu, ukienda kwa supa tu, kwa afya bora ya jamii ungapoa ni lea tu.
Guys, mwazeni wait.
Bei ya lea premium, si complicated. Kupika lea premium, si complicated. Unabai, unapika, unashiba. Lea premium.
Lea Premium Flour, nurturing the world. Available in a store near you.
Chakula ya MasterChef Oil tamu zaidi. MasterChef ndio siri. Ladha yake ndio kusema Kenya mzima. MasterChef, ugali soft inadonjo kudonjo. Iwe ni mafuta, unga wa ngano au ugali. MasterChef ni yetu, ladha ya Wakenya. Inapatikana kwa duka lililo karibu nawe au kitushwari.com.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, SoftCare always stays with you.
New SoftCare Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
SoftCare. Protect your leap.
Cheeky these Uber Boda softies who forgot how to bargain. Me, I get the same price by just talking. Okay, just an extra 100.
Robe ingine.
Maybe 150?
Next time, no need to bargain, bana. Uber Boda, everything Uber, now on 2 wheels.
So for how long are you going to punish me?
Punish you for what?
Come on, Nema, tusipretend bado hujanikasirikia juu ya mole.
You are under arrest for disturbing the public peace, presumably while wielding a knife.
No, but I'm innocent.
You can access financing with flexible repayment terms. Let us stock up your biashara, keep those shelves full, the supply chain flowing smoothly, and profit soaring. Welcome to your preferred home for biashara.
Tourism in the country is an important earner of foreign exchange, as well as earning quite a bit from the domestic tourism market. And this week on Power Talk, we are pleased to have the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Tourism and Wildlife, Rebecca Miano, to speak about the current state of tourism and what the prospects are, not just this year, but in the years to come. Thank you so much, Madam Cabinet Secretary, for joining us.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Let's start by understanding the current state of tourism in the country up until this point, and what your expectations are for this period until the end of the year.
Thank you. Allow me 1 minute to first congratulate our athletes for the stellar performance in the championships that they participated in Tokyo. That is no mean feat, finishing the first in Africa, the best in Africa, and second in the world. It's monumental. It teaches us how to do something good for our country.
Yeah.
But back to your question, the state of tourism in Kenya, it's a story of progress, of good news. we are on an upward trajectory. At the close of 2024, we did welcome 2.4 million international visitors into the country, and that was the highest ever, which is, these numbers are better than pre-COVID, which shows a strong recovery. In terms of earnings, Kenya received 452 billion from tourism. On the domestic front, we saw a growth of about 12%, 5.1 million bed nights, and that does not even include the unlicensed establishments like Airbnb and others. And this growth continues even into 2025. I must say that tourism is one of the strongest pillars in the economy. In terms of employment, more than 1.1 million direct jobs and over 3 million in indirect jobs. And of course, the value chain, the support to the economy, forex earnings, it contributes quite a lot of the forex earnings for this country. In terms of GDP, close to 10%. And you can see the whole value chain, the supply of food, services, and everything. So it is a very good status we are in right now.
Yeah. And good status now.
Yes.
And that means you've set even more ambitious targets going forward.
Yes.
So 5.5 million visitors by 2027?
Yes, we have a stretched but possible target because, you know, Kenya has a lot of tourism products. For a long time, Kenya has been seen as just the beach and the bush because of the wildlife and our coast, but we have much, much more. We are diversifying our tourism products to include cultural tourism that is getting a lot of traction. We are also going into adventure tourism, wellness, cuisine. You have seen sports, and that Kenya is a powerhouse and can even lead in sports tourism. And so with all these diversifications, we are certain that we can attract much, much more. We have what the world is looking for, and that is very encouraging. But we must also work on other things like visa openness, which we have made a lot of strides, streamlining the ETA, the immigration issues. We have also worked on, through the Ministry of Transport, more access, air access. I have seen some licensing, including some in this week. Flights like Air Dubai have been allowed a second frequency into Mombasa. We have seen the charters. And Yvonne, every Thursday, we have been welcoming 3 Dreamliners into Mombasa and others even from Italy. So the numbers for 2025 are looking good. But we must apply all these strategies that I'm talking about in order to achieve that target.
I'd like to talk about specifically diversifying the tourism offerings, like you say, away from the traditional, the beach, you know, and wildlife, which is, you know, absolutely important. But, you know, talk to us about diversifying specifically. You could go into some detail about what more Kenya has to offer.
Yes, in diversifying our products, we are coming up with new products because the modern traveler has told us that they require much more than just the beach. If you look at cultural tourism, it gives authenticity, which the world is looking for. And you have seen, we have organized quite a lot of cultural festivals. We have the Maa Cultural Festival that has now found itself into the Kenyan calendar. We have the Turkana Tobongloray, the Lamu Festival. We have, last week we had the Rakanithi Uragate, and we have a lot of festivals that bring in the culture. Not only the festivals, we have counties that are working on their cultural calendars. And at this particular stage is to encourage all the counties, all the communities to really draw their annual calendar in good time so that we can announce a Kenyan cultural calendar and travelers can be able to plan and partake of these offerings. So that is one. Number two, look at sports tourism. We need to grow that. We want the world to come and run with the champions, to come and touch them and feel them and see what they eat, where they live, how they train. We believe that will be a very good tourism product. Our cuisine, we are the origins of nyama choma. We need to work on that product and showcase it to the world. Most of the visitors who come to Kenya taste the nyama choma, but we need to organize and give it to them in an organized way so that we tell them, when you go to this place, you will find this cuisine, this nyama choma. Wellness is another one. We have the advantage of being in the savannah. It is said if you do your wellness in the savannah, it touches that inner part of your heart. Kenya already has that. Recently, we launched our newest product, astrotourism.
Okay.
67% and above of travelers have said that stargazing, the cosmic space, the sky, is of interest. And science has proven that in that realm, Kenya, if you imagine that that is a theater where you're watching something, Kenya is the VVIP of the sky because of less noise pollution, because of how our skies are. And therefore, you can see that Kenya has a lot of products that we need to work on. Not to forget that we can make it an all-year destination because our weather is good throughout.
All year round.
We don't need to restrict ourselves to between June and October. The rest of the year is available. All those products are still there. And therefore, that's how we are diversifying some of the products.
Also the MICE sector. I mean, yes, for sure, there's many conferences that take place in the country. But I'm sure there is plans to do much more with conferencing and positioning the country.
The MICE sector is one of the sectors that brings many numbers because conferences are about numbers. Research has shown that a conference tourist or traveler spends 2 to 3 times than the normal tourist. And Kenya is a favorite destination with all the products that we have. You have seen over the last 2-3 years, every other week, Kenya is holding an international conference with the incentives, with the meetings, and we are really focusing on that. That's why we want to improve our infrastructure, getting a state-of-the-art conference facility. Down at the coast, they've also done very well. Most of those hotels are having very good international standard tourism and conferencing facilities. So if you combine the MICE with all the other products, we will have a package that will really be attractive for the world.
And in line with that, we're hosting the 2025 Magical Kenya Travel Expo, the 15th edition. Talk to us about that.
The Magical Kenya Travel Expo is our tourism expo or conference, and this is the 15th year. I'm very happy when it started. It just started as a small conference or a small event. It has grown in leaps and bounds, and this year we are expecting more than 400 exhibitors, more than 5,000 delegates, and it will be huge. And this will be a time to showcase what we have. It will be time for business to business, B2B discussions, government to showcase what it has. And the tourism sector, the private sector, the hoteliers, the travel agents, the tour operators, everyone is participating. We are expecting over 40 countries to be represented, and it is huge. And what is special about this year, at the back of it, we have the Africa Investment Conference, and we want to discuss how Africa can attract more investments or tourism investments, because with all these ambitious numbers, the growing tourism industry, you also need facilities, you need amenities, you need investments, and that is what is so special. And I would like to take this opportunity to invite everyone for our expo between the 1st and the 3rd of October 2025. We have received already a lot of confirmations, and it is a moment for Kenya to fully showcase our tourism sector. The private sector has come in very, very strongly, and we are just now looking for that day. Yeah, and of course it is at the back end of the World Tourism Day.
Yes.
Which is celebrated world over on Saturday. And we are celebrating that in Mombasa. And so at the back of it, so when we finish, we then go to MKTE. It is our season.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And you talked about, you know, B2B, business-to-business networking opportunities. And that brings me to the issue of trade, particularly intra-Africa trade, which is something, you know, many countries are thinking about on the continent. What are your ideas about how we can encourage this intra-Africa trade to make Kenya a beneficiary of it and to give us access to markets on the continent?
Kenya is very well positioned, being a member of the East Africa Community, the AFCFTA, and African Union. It is a strong participant in the tourism sector in the region and in the whole of Africa. We are very strong in supporting the common protocols for tourism under the East Africa and also under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. And therefore, we encourage all the countries to come together, visit each other. And some of the other ways that Kenya has supported this is encouraging tourism circuits with our neighbors. It's working well with Uganda, with Tanzania, and Rwanda, Burundi, so that our travelers can have a circuit in the region. We are signatories to the protocols. Just about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, we were in Arusha for the ministers' sectoral meeting for tourism, and we discussed what common marketing strategies we can have together. Also encouraging regional airlines to operate between the countries that will support intra-tourism trading within the region.
Yeah, so tourism is also a driver of trade.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you look at the trade itself, tourism is a trade in service. A trade in accommodation, a trade in entertainment, in meetings, and in all this. And tourism is a very, very emotional service where people go out there to look for adventure, to look for happiness, relaxation, and that's why it is a sensitive sector. And I'd wish to call on everyone to be good ambassadors of our country, so that when travelers are coming in, they are assured of peace, they are assured of everything they are looking for as tourists. Luckily, Kenya is very well known for its hospitality. We had one of the celebrities that visited our country recently, and when I had a chat with them, they did say Kenya has what every human being in the world would be looking for. And so you can imagine what a special country we have. And because tourism is almost a low-hanging fruit in terms of benefiting the country economically, in terms of employment, especially for the youth, economic empowerment, growing businesses, earning forex. It is a sector that we all must embrace, and we are happy that we can feel the support from the very top starting with His Excellency, who is our Ambassador 001. If you look at all the speeches he makes internationally, there is a place for him to promote tourism, Kenya tourism, and we are grateful. The world has noticed that Kenya has something special to offer, and we just call on everyone, the creatives. I saw a post this week from one of the visitors called Neil Washington, who summarized Kenya tourism offerings all the way from Lamu, Masai Mara, Nairobi, the tech hub. It is so good to see people appreciating our tourism.
And therefore, time for us to harness those opportunities and offer as much as possible that we can to the world. Thank you very much. We wish you the very best with that. And thank you for the invitation to all Kenyans for the magical Kenya Travel Expo that takes place on the 1st and 2nd?
1st to 3rd.
1st to the 3rd of October 2025. That is Power Talk with the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Tourism and Wildlife, Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano, on Kenya's tourism offering, its contribution to the economy, and some of the great achievements as well as ambitious targets which she is confident that the country can meet. That is Power Talk this week.
We are convinced that someone should be held accountable because someone slept on their job.
Human rights defenders petition court. 21 families seek justice and compensation over the 2024 Endarasha school fire tragedy.
Prolonged and frequent hospital stays and treatment side effects disrupt children's education, leading to learning gaps, social isolation, and emotional distress. Use observation to notice changes in children's behavior and physical symptoms that could indicate cancer, and seek medical attention early. This message is brought to you by Royal Media Services in conjunction with Faraja Cancer Support Trust. We care.
Hi ladies, ready to glow and save? Subscribe to our exclusive club for just 1,000 Kenya shillings and unlock amazing discounts at all Best Lady shops countrywide. Enjoy 10% off every purchase for 6 months. For wholesalers, when you purchase 6 pieces and above of the same item, you get 12.5% discount. Redeem your subscription immediately and start saving in style. Slay and look beautiful while spending less. Yes, it's working. Best Lady, more cosmetics.
Meet confident Miss Aloe and Sweaty Rexy. Switch to Aloe Roll-On deodorants, naturally derived ingredients, no aluminium salt, and long-lasting freshness. Because confidence shouldn't be a gamble. From Tropical Brands.
It's time for another conversation on all matters agriculture and food security on Citizen Digital X Spaces. And this week, we speak to the youth, Ken Moreka, Kelvin Gay, and the Onion Doctor. How did they make their first million in agriculture, and how much more can one scale up? Listen in this Wednesday at 7 p.m, hosted by Violetta Ngina, only on Citizen Digital X Spaces.
Rudishiwa 100% transaction fee ukitransact na any pay bill across the country. Ukitransfer chapa from your bank to Airtel Money. Ukiwithdraw chapa from an Airtel Money agent. Buy Smarter Bundle today. Dial *544# or use My Airtel app. Na bado tuna grow. Asanteni wa Kenya.
My name is Heinz Muller. I'm the CEO, Nuts and More. When you got used to a supplier who gives you a good service, usually you go back to the same supplier, and that was exactly the case here. Build phase 1 together with SAF-Build. We made good experience overall. Then we started to inquire about phase number 2. We believe we have done the right choice. We have selected a durable product from SAF-Build.
SAF-Build, a quality product from Safal Building Systems, a subsidiary of MRM.
Introducing Wigo, your trusted ride. The ride with the most reliable, verified, efficient and transparent drivers. With fabulous cashback incentives for passengers, each trip on Wigo feels like an upgrade. Download Wigo from Play Store or App Store or SMS Wigo to 20425 and ride with confidence. Wigo, let's go!
KCSE graduate. Want to become a global professional in the medical industry? Train at Jordan College of Technology, a brand trusted by employers globally. Enroll now in our School of Medical and Health Sciences for courses like Orthopedic and Trauma Medicine, Perioperative Theatre, Dental Surgery, Caregiver, Medical Engineering, Nutrition, Healthcare Support, Community Health, Science Lab, Optical and more. We boast modern well-equipped skills labs and we have partnered with key hospitals for clinical rotations and attachments. Apply for our intake and train with the best. Visit us at our new ultra-modern campus, Jordan Towers, Thika Town. Jordan College of Technology, the leading TVET and medical institution in Kenya.
You can't just grab things that don't belong to you and do whatever you like just because we're married.
And I'm sick and tired of the fact that no one in this house listens to me. You should just move on already.
But I love her. Arturo, he had an accident. Let's go.
Hey, listen, wait for me.
It's Valeria. Your sister got into an accident.
Introducing Shinda Milioni, where every dream can become a reality. Open your account on the I&M Bank OTG app, deposit more and win big. I&M Bank, on your side.
Welcome back to the Explainer. Tonight, a group of human rights defenders have moved to court to sue the government over the Hillside Endarasha Academy fire, which claimed the lives of 21 learners. A petition filed by the Kenya Human Rights Commission, the Elimubora Working Group, and a section of the parents listed the Attorney General, Cabinet Secretary Migos Ogamba, and Hillside Endarasha Academy proprietor David Kinyua among 8 respondents to the case. In the petition, the group is demanding justice and compensation. Kamau Mwangi has the details.
After failing to get answers from the government on what led to a night inferno at the boys' dormitory of the Hillside Endarasha Academy, 21 families who lost their boys have moved to court in search of answers and compensation. In 2 petitions filed by the Kenya Human Rights Commission, the Elimubora Working Group and a section of the parents, the group is seeking the court's intervention in compelling the government to charge its officers who failed to ensure the safety of the boys.
We are convinced that there was negligence and that justice needs to be served. We are convinced that someone should be held accountable because someone slept on their job.
Our schools should be safe learning spaces. That it should not be that we take our children to school only for the schools to end up to be death traps, so to speak, and result in the loss of their lives.
David Kinyua, the proprietor of the school, the Nyeri County Education Director, the National Education Board, the Attorney General and Education Cabinet Secretary Migos Ogamba are among 8 respondents in the constitutional petition.
It is a pity that we can assume that after such an act happened, then everything just goes on normal, like nobody cares. We put it at the doorstep of the government that they have a right, they have a responsibility to protect the rights.
It's never been clear what happened after they sent their sons to school. No one has come to them with answers. We've heard about investigations being done. Even the DNA tests that were conducted, the results were not even brought to them.
The petitioners are, however, not opposed to the move by the Director of Public Prosecutions to initiate a public inquest into the tragedy if it means getting answers that the bereaved parents so desperately seek. Kamau Mwangi, Citizen TV, at the Nyeri Law Courts.
5 chiefs from Elwak in Mandera South, kidnapped by suspected Al-Shabaab militants and held captive in Somalia for 62 agonizing days, have broken their silence. At the Jukwala Usalama Security Baraza in Elwak town, the chiefs recounted their chilling ordeal at the hands of the militants. They're now appealing for financial support and trauma counseling, while also backing the government's plan to arm and train local administrators in frontline counties to confront the terror threat head-on. Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen has pledged state commendations for the 5, hailing them as heroes who served on the edge of danger. Setolale reports from Mandera.
The chiefs from Elwak, Adao Abdi Mohammed, Mohammed Hassan, Mohammed Nur, Ibrahim Gabo, Abdi Hassan and Abdi Hassan Surau used the Jukwala Usalama Security Assessment Baraza to recount their harrowing 62-day captivity at the hands of Al-Shabaab militants in Somalia.
Kwa hiyo shida ile tulipata siku hiyo katika family iko na shida, na katika hiyo sisi 5 wawili tulienda retire. Wazee wawili tulienda retire, na kuna muombi fulani tumefanya. Tunaomba bana waziri waangalie maslahi yetu, kwa sababu watoto nyingi tunasomesha, shida fulani hiko, na katika hiyo wakati tuko huko tumepata madhara kubwa sana.
The chiefs thanked Kenyans for their prayers and goodwill, saying it was the nation's support that gave them strength until their miraculous rescue.
Tunarudisha sana shukrani kwa wazee yetu, ma-MP yetu, governor yetu, president yetu na minister yetu.
Backing the state's plan to arm and train local administrators in frontier counties, the chiefs are calling for better tools and logistical support to help them confront the terror threat.
Police bosses fungulia sisi Wargadud ili lalamishi yote aende haraka kwa polisi ili culprit yote ashukwe haraka.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has now pledged state recommendations for the 5 chiefs during the upcoming Mashujaa Day celebrations, promising improved welfare and security of all administrators in high-risk areas.
Kwa sababu ya ujasiri wao ya kupitia mashida na bado wamerudi kufanya kazi. We will give them head of state commendation kwa ile sherehe itafanyika mwaka huu.
Security agencies are also urging residents to cooperate fully in the fight against terrorism and shun practices that compromise security in Mandera.
Wananchi na nyinyi mtuuge mkono, tufanye kazi pamoja, community policing, na nimesikia imetajwa hapa.
When we hide our criminals within us, when crime will thrive, we should not be surprised.
We have seen situations where some civil servants do collide, and that has resulted to the issuance of that vital document to foreigners.
With Elwak being a strategic border crossing between Kenya and Somalia, a joint civil operation framework has been proposed in order to foster positive relationship between security forces and the locals. Seth Olale, Citizen TV, Elwak, Mandera County.
Tightening the grip, KRA proposes new regulations targeting the digital economy.
Leo zero, kesho zero. Download the Absa Kenya app, open an Absa One account with 0 monthly fees. Bila fees, maisha ni free. Absa, your story matters.
Welcome to Boma Mabati Factory, the 2024 award winner in roofing solutions. All our products come with warranty and are KEBS certified. Be part of our many satisfied customers by visiting us to enjoy great discounts. Boma Mabati Factory, Mabati Poa, near Boma.
Diriba lukumpiai lukuni piam piam lukumpiai diriba lukumpiai lukuni piam 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 lukumpiai diriba lukumpiai lukuni piam piam lukumpiai diriba lukumpiai lukuni piam.
Presents the biggest study abroad fair this September. Meet over 120 delegates ready to guide you on your journey to study abroad. On Tuesday, the 23rd of September, join us at Ruper's Mall, Eldoret from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. On Wednesday, the 24th of September, we'll be at the Reef Hotel, Mombasa from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. On Saturday, the 27th of September, we'll be at Movenpick Hotel, Nairobi from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Entry is completely free.
Captain, watermelon, punchbowl. Yes, please. Captain, pineapple sizzle. Big vibes, banner. Hold up. Tulia. Did he just dip that wing into his captain in cola? Sheesh, love it. However you spice on.
Slow melting, smooth coating, long lasting. Test the inayoshinda. Nunua any two participating Cadbury products. Now scan QR code au tuma WhatsApp for a chance ya win your share of 2 million shillings in amazing prizes. Cadbury, there's a glass and a half in everyone. T's and C's apply.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, Soft Care always stays with you.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
Faster speeds, safe and secure. Over 50 million Kenyans. One network. Safaricom. Popote ulipo.
Every Friday, 10 p.m.
Unajua ni kudunda kudojo.
Piga statue.
Salam konko.
My people, are you ready?
Akufa juu, kila mtu hapa ndani kufa juu.
E for the energy. E for the vibe. Say E for the energy. Unaweza niita media messiah Skosombora.
Course Africa's mega hype man, good man.
10 over 10 every Friday from 10 p.m. 10 over 10, spiced by Captain Morgan Gold.
Hold up. Tulia. Did he just dip that wing into his captain in cola? Sheesh, love it. However you spice on.
Citizen Duke, the home of discount.
Look
Looking for unbeatable deals? Citizen Duca has you covered. Get 1.5 Jig regular bleach at 745 shillings, down from 798 shillings. 800 grams bar soap at 205 shillings, down from 230. And 200 grams toss at 79 shillings, down from 105 shillings. Shop conveniently on citizenduca.com or on the View Sasa app and have everything delivered directly to you. Citizen Duca, the home of discounts.
Citizen Duca, the home of discounts.
So for how long are you going to punish me?
Punish you for what?
Come on, Neema, tusipretend bado hujanikasirikia juu ya Molly.
You are under arrest for disturbing the public peace, presumably while wielding a knife.
No, but I'm innocent.
You can access financing with flexible repayment terms. Let us stock up your biashara, keep those shelves full, the supply chain flowing smoothly, and profit soaring. Welcome to your preferred home for biashara.
Business News, brought to you by Safaricom Business.
We choose partners with solutions that get us there. You could also power your progress. Join Safaricom Business today. Power your progress at business.safaricom.co.ke.
The Kenya Revenue Authority has published a raft of new regulations issued under the Income Tax Act, signaling the government's intent to cast a wider net over non-resident companies profiting from Kenya's fast-growing digital economy. If adopted, the regulations will replace the 2020 Digital Service Tax Framework with a more structured and far-reaching model. As Jimmy Mbogo now reports, multinational tech and digital service providers operating in Kenya should brace for a sweeping overhaul of the country's digital tax regime.
The transition from digital service tax to significant economic presence tax is on course. This follows the publication of proposed regulations aimed at outlining those eligible for the tax rate, and the penalties. The shift is set to bolster Kenya's tax revenue by capturing value from global digital flows that have so far been lightly taxed. However, according to tax experts, the rules are likely to increase compliance costs for firms and could discourage some smaller players from entering the Kenyan market.
There are challenges with this for a non-resident who doesn't have presence in Kenya, because you need to have a PIN, and for you to get a PIN, then you need to have a registered entity, or you need to get an exemption to get that PIN for you to be able to open a bank account. So that is an administrative burden for somebody who does not have any physical presence here in Kenya. So that's something that maybe the regulations can look at.
In the proposed regulation, the taxman is seeking to expand the definition of taxable digital service well beyond streaming and downloadable content to include artificial intelligence solution, a ride-hailing platform, a digital marketplace, e-learning, cloud hosting, fintech service, and even monetize user data, which will be brought under the tax net. The expansion will see global tech giants from streaming platforms like Netflix and Spotify to payment providers and AI firms, accounting to Kenya's tax authority in every transaction involving Kenyan users.
The regulations are providing clarity that has not been included in the Act in terms of what is the taxable services, giving a list of examples of the taxable services to be under the scope of Sep tax, the registration framework, the computation of the taxable income for Sep purposes. So it is a welcome move that the Sep regulations have come in.
According to the regulation, non-compliance will attract penalties and interest under the Tax Procedures Act, where the Commissioner can collect unpaid taxes from persons owing money to the taxpayer customer, agent, banks, as well as hold such third parties personally liable if they fail to comply without reasonable cause. Jimmy Mbogo, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
World Animal Protection is calling on the Kenyan government to immediately shut down exploitative wildlife farming facilities, saying the practice is cruel, unsustainable, and threatens conservation efforts and public health. A new report titled "Behind Bars: Lifting the Lid of Kenya's Cruel Wildlife Farming" exposes shocking conditions in which wild animals are captured, bred, and exploited for profit. Dennis Otieno has the details.
Kenya's reputation as a haven for wildlife is under threat. This is according to a new report by the World Animal Protection, which has revealed the country's growing wildlife farming industry, warning of its devastating impact on animal welfare, conservation, and public health.
Instead of protecting wildlife, they promote commodification, treating sentient beings as mere profit-generating assets.
Wildlife farming, which is the breeding and confinement of wild species for commercial use under the guise of conservation or tourism, is at the heart of the concern, hence the call to action.
We humbly request that a ban on commercial wildlife farming happens now. We urge Kenya's Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife and Kenya Wildlife Services to take leadership in ending wildlife exploitation.
The study reviewed 55 captive wildlife facilities across Kenya and found that nearly 3/4 were privately owned. While public facilities mainly focused on conservation and education, 11 private venues were breeding wild animals for commercial purposes, with 4 also attracting direct visitor interactions.
We found widespread animal-visitor interactions, including feeding giraffes, posing selfies with snakes, bear handling of birds, ostrich riding, and harvesting of tortoise from the wild.
Failed visits in 2024 exposed the scale of the problem. In just 6 facilities, more than 1,400 animals, mainly ostriches, tortoises, and crocodiles, were found in captivity alongside giraffes, hippos, snakes, birds of prey, and primates such as bush babies and baboons.
We want the Kenya government to undertake an independent, comprehensive audit of these facilities, because we believe that will be the starting point for us to actually know.
The report by World Animal Protection urges Kenya to lead by example, making this generation of farmed wild animals the last and protecting wildlife for future generations. Dennis Otieno, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
The country's ICT sector closed the 2024-25 financial year on a strong footing, with mobile money and internet subscriptions hitting new highs. The Communications Authority credits this growth to wider network coverage, affordable devices, and rising demand for digital services. Jasmine Wamboi has more.
The year to June 2025 saw steady growth in mobile and broadband services, with more Kenyans connecting to the internet and digital platforms. The Communications Authority says mobile money subscriptions like M-Pesa rose to over 47 million, translating to a penetration rate of 91% compared to 77% just a year ago. Internet subscriptions also expanded by 27% to reach 58.5 million. This growth has been supported by 4G coverage now reaching 97% of the population and 5G at 30%. At the same time, expanded fiber optic cable infrastructure, affordable smartphones and competitive data plans have collectively enhanced connectivity. By the end of June, over 73 million mobile devices were linked to networks, reflecting a penetration rate of nearly 140%. Smartphones accounted for over 80% of these connections, cementing their place as a main tool for accessing digital services such as e-commerce, e-government, and mobile banking. In the fixed internet segment, Safaricom remained the market leader with a 34% share, followed by Dramee Telecoms at 21%. And despite a disruptive entry into the local market, Elon Musk's Starlink has continued to cede ground with its market share now standing at only 0.8%. The authority states that these trends highlight a continued push for digital inclusion, with infrastructure expansion and device affordability set to shape the country's digital economy moving forward. Jasmine Wamboi, Citizen TV.
Kenyan businesses, including those in the small and micro spaces, can now trade across the continent from the comfort of their localities in the country. This follows the official launch of the Africa Trade Gateway platform by the Afrexim Bank. The platform is designed as a one-stop digital ecosystem that connects businesses, reduces trade barriers, and transforms Africa's vast potential into tangible prosperity. The platform is a secure, low-cost digital platform that links over 90 banks across 35 African countries and integrates more than 9,000 verified companies. This will enable traders to pay for goods and services in their local currencies. The Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and MSMEs, Wycliffe Oparanya, called on businesses to register and embrace the platform to ensure competitiveness abroad.
The Trade Gateway, to reach its full potential, we need strong partnership. One, the bank and other financial institutions diversify and scale up your cooperative and MSMEs products to include financing for green innovations and digital enterprises. Number two, to logistic partners, build efficient, reliable, and affordable logistics systems to unlock regional and continental value chains. Number three, to the private sector and cooperatives, embrace ATG, register your businesses, and integrate its tools into your trade practices. The future of trade is digital, and ATG is Africa's own solution.
With 5 key mandates from the AFCFTA, which entails, number one, access to market or demand creation. We support consolidation, logistical setups, and aggregation. We support capacity building of our SMEs to be able to be ready to export.
Business News, brought to you by Safaricom Business.
We choose partners with solutions that get us there. You could also power your progress. Join Safaricom Business today. Power your progress at business.safaricom.co.ke.
Right, let's start with the Kenya Premier League champions Police FC, who are back in training ahead of the return leg match of the first round of the CAF Champions League. Police carry a healthy 3-1 lead from the first leg played at the Nyayo National Stadium last Saturday. The first session was recovery training with no injuries reported in the team. The technical bench is working on improving the various aspects of the game as they aim to win the return leg and qualify for the next round. Coach Etienne Ndayari Gije says they watched Mogadishu FC during the Sakafa Club Championship in Zanzibar, and the team from Somalia is a hard nut to crack. Despite the 2-goal lead, the coach wants full concentration from his team as they face an opponent who can spring a surprise at any time, especially on the counter-attack. Mogadishu FC have been in Kenya for almost 2 weeks and had a huge fan base in the first leg match.
So ni timu, huwezi sema ni timu rahisi. Najua watu wengi walikuwa wamesema jina Mogadishu wakadhani timu ndogo. Nyote mliona ni timu inaleta any surprise anytime. So lazima tukue too focused enough kujua ni timu inaweza tu hurt anytime na kila mtu ako ready, kwa sababu tunajua ni game itakuwa bado ngumu kwetu.
Wana bidii kubwa sana kwa tight space, na ni timu ambayo inaweza kukusurprise in time kwa counter attack. Niliona ni timu nzuri, so tumeingia na hiyo tahadhari. Nadhani hata wenye mlishuhudia mechi haikuwa mechi rahisi.
The NCBA Junior Golf Foundation U.S. Kids Tour made a stop at the Sigona Golf Club, where the boys' competition produced some of the impressive competitions and results of the weekend. Savir Shah was impressive in the boys 13 to 14 years category with a score of 1 over par 73, 4 strokes ahead of favourite Amar Shah. In the boys 15 to 18, Shashwat Harish was the best with a score of 2 over par 74. 4 strokes better than Wahome Mutahi in the second place. The other winner in the boys category were Ishan Patel in the boys 11 and under. In the girls category, the rivalry in the 11 to 12 years has intensified and produced good scores yet again. Ashley Gashora won the category with a score of 1 over par 73, closely followed by Arya Doria with a score of 3 over par 75. Now, Makongeni Boxing Club has sent out a passionate appeal to the Nairobi County Government and the national government to rebuild the Makongeni Social Hall that has nurtured some of the best boxers in the country. The social hall was gutted down by a fire in 2019 that completely destroyed the facility. The shell, that is the 4 walls with no windows, doors or a roof, is what Makongeni boxers are using to hone their skills. The Makongeni Boxing Club held an exhibition boxing extravaganza in the remains of the hall to highlight the plight of the social hall that was used for indoor sports as well as social events for the people in Makongeni. Now, with no indoor facility and equipment, Makongeni has lost top talents to neighbouring Jericho and Kaloleni. The community wants to revive boxing, and they believe the first step is to rebuild that social hall.
Ukiangalia hata saizi hapa nyuma yangu utapata haina roof. Alafu sasa tuko kwa nyumba nyingine ndogo sana, na kwa hiyo nyumba ndogo haina roof. So wakati mtu ana train, waga ile upepo inakuja na wachapa ndani. Wakati ya mvua uanga tu train kabisa.
Tusirely kwa sports zingine peke yake. We have so many sports of which I can't name them all, but ziko mingi. We have football, we have modeling, we have